Well, as you can probably tell, Frosted Dreams is the name of this collection from our friends at Hunkydory. And there are just some beautiful things that you can do with them. As a matter of fact, I have a couple to share with you. Actually, I have four. This is one, and isn't that beautiful? And you can see everything is this very light tone and gorgeous with some foiling and some stuff. So just a lot to share with you. Won't you please come play with us? Before I get into Heidi's projects, let me just show you what products we're going to work with. So I'm going to set these two aside. I'm going to start with the topper set because that's, very often the basics. This will make 16 cards, and I bet you can even make more. And there are, this is a luxury topper collection. It's kind of the standard of Hunkydory. And what they do is they will have 4 sheets. Now, everything I'm going to show you, get 2 of everything. So you have these sheets that are die cut, that are foiled. They have sometimes borders, sometimes always greetings, and some other things. And 2 very large ones, which is how they're planning. You're going to get 2 cards out of every single one. And then there will be a sheet that will be foiled cardstock, and this is printed and foiled, as you can see, and of course the artwork is matching what's going on there. And then there'll be another one that is printed, and that artwork will also match. So that's one set. You're going to get 2 of those. And this is another set with the Santa and the deer. You can see the deer that's printed and the Santa, which of course is foiled, as Santa would be. This is, it's called a Christmas Magic. You can see the wreath as well as the tree and the presents. This again is the foiled. And here is the foiled matching cardstock. And here is the printed. And then the last one is this, ice skates. This is called Winter Whispers. That's a great name. With a couple and a lady and a cupcake, of course. And here it is in the foiled sheet and the printed sheet with the ice skates. So again, you're getting 2 of each one. And like I said, they're going to make 16. You're going to make even more than 16, I bet. The Frosted Dreams luxury foiled cardstock. Now, this has 16 sheets. It's 2 different sheets of each design. And so that what that means is that, like, this is white with silver, and then you have the blue with the silver. It's the same design, but that's how it's done. You're going to do the same thing with these dots that you're going to get in blue. Whoops. Well, let me find, I'll find the other one. Oh goodness, I thought these were in order. I'm so sorry. Let me just go through it very quickly. Okay, so there's going to be another one that's blue. You can see the dandelions, and right there, of course, we love those at Paper Wishes. We have poinsettias in white, and there'll be poinsettias in lavender. And we have the all over stars in purple, lavender, and a soft blue. We have snowflakes in a gray and also in a blue. And we have this gorgeous, and this is the edge to edge, meaning it's going to go all the way. It's not just spot foiling, it's the whole deal. And we have this in gray and in black. Isn't that stunning? And then we have swirls. This is in black, and it's going to be in another color too that I've misplaced. So all of those, so lots of different designs, lots of different looks to it also, and you've got all those colors. Now the last part of this trio is this, Frosted Dreams. This is a little book. This is a square little book. They're about 4 inches square. There are 120 pages. Wow. There are 20 designs. You're going to get 6 of each one, and that just means you're going to have so much that you can do with these. So here we have Santa, and we have a deer. These are single-sided, and just all in the same tones. This light tone, I love that snow globe. I think it's fun to have the hot chocolate. And this, cupcakes, of course, you saw that. They're the people. And the imagery is, of course, part of what you saw in the topper set. And it's going to, I love the snowman, absolutely darling. We'll save him. And coffee and holly, isn't that pretty? Again, that very frosty look. I guess Frosted Dreams is the title of this, so that would absolutely make sense. So you're going to get 120 of those 4x4s. So all of that is just going to be yours. Okay, now let's get into our projects and see what we have. The first one is actually a square card. It is a 5-inch square, but it has a surprise in it. And that is that when Heidi took her 5x6.5 card, cut it down to 5x5, then she scored, opened it flat, and then scored 2.5 inches on each side. Used the scoreboard to make that happen by just placing it here and scoring it there and there on each side, then bringing them together and then turning it so one of the folds is at the top. Now Heidi elected to do this, and she cut this piece down and glued it to another piece of the cardstock just to have a really strong piece. And then she cut out different layers of the other 6 sheets and glued them together like this. And that's great. That bow on top of it just works really nicely. But I really wanted to do a little bit more with the artwork. And so I elected to take the snow lady. And I thought it would be fun just to show you this flat without the 3D look, just to give you another idea. So I took this piece and trimmed it, as you can see, right next to those pearls, and just to fit onto this piece, which is in the directions, of course. And I added the snowflakes, and this comes from our Snowflake Dazzles. There are, I believe, 10 sheets in this package, so lots of different ones. The snowflakes come in different sizes. This is the size of sheet I used. This happens to be blue. I used the one that was kind of holographic, and just added them around her. And then I did add one of our oval border dazzles and just place that right next to the pearls, just to give that, doing the flat piece. Well, what's that's going to mean is that because you have 6 of these, you can do 6 different things with it. Or you can do what Heidi has so nicely done for us, is that you can glue one down and then trim out the others and foam tape them over the matching art. So lots of ways that you can do that. Now what Heidi also chose to do is to take one of the foiled sheets, and this is that foiled at the bottom. Again, it's edge to edge. And she's going to use this in different areas, but she did cut 2 pieces. I believe they're 4.5 inches by 2 inches out of it, and glued them to each of the gates. Okay, we're going to call it, because this becomes a gate fold. So each of the gates, she glues them. Now notice that she left the white border, and that works really well with all of this art because all of it has this frosty look. So it's all going to have some white in the area. Now, as I said, this piece was glued to another piece of the cardstock piece over here, just to give it some stability. As usual, when you're doing a gatefold, you're just going to glue this top piece, half of it, to the gate, and then leave half of it so that you can open up this card. Okay, and you can see you get all kinds of glitter. She did cover the inside 2 pieces with that same cardstock, and then also cut a piece right here. And then she had another piece left, this area where it's not quite as foiled, so we used it on the front. She used it here also, and had those snowflakes all around. You can see I did another blue border, the oval border, and the Holly Jolly is coming from the same Dazzle set, and that is going to do a good job for you. You can see it's right in here. Now this has lots of different colors in it, and this is the Christmas Greetings Dazzles. So you can see the Holly Jolly is right there. Hopefully you can see that. So she did it in white right there, and that just finishes off the card. Oh, she did use the crepe ribbon for her blue bow right there. And you know Heidi, she's going to use the bow maker because that's going to ensure a perfect bow every single time. Now, and that's the same that she used when she gave us this demonstration too. So that blue, but it works well, not only with the bell there, but it works very nicely with our snow lady. Just really pretty. I think if she has flowers, she's a snow lady. Okay, now let's go to our next card. And this too is using out of the little book. And in this case, she has used this cardstock out of the foiled. I don't think I showed you that design. This is the holly. And she did use this to be her card base. So this is also a 5-inch square card. So what she did is she used the 60 cards and envelopes and trimmed it down to be 6 by 6, 5 by 5. And then she cut a piece of this and just glued it to the front. Then she used our corner punch. And the corner punch is going to give you 3 different sizes of corners. Heidi always likes the big one, and I think that does a really nice job. So you're going to trim this and punch it on all 4 sides. Okay? Now, she did an interesting thing here so that you could hang this if you wanted to, and that's a good thing to remember. She used the jute, and this has lots of different colors, and every single color is in 72 inches, so you're getting a lot. And so she did a loop and then glued it underneath the foiled paper, and then did a bow on top. So you can hang this if you would like. So that's nice way to display your cards. She did use this piece out of the little book, and you can see, you saw that earlier. Because she rounded the edges of her card, she's going to also round the edges of this, but first she's going to trim it down a little bit. You can see that, about 1/4 of an inch on each side was cut off. And then once again, she used the 3-in-1 corner rounder and simply glued that to her card. Now she added, do you see how the Joy to Us is in the same green? And I think that's really nice. That comes from our Christmas greetings. There are 10 sheets, 5 of them are script, and 5 of them are tiny words and phrases. So you can see the script right here, and it just goes right across. Now the fold is at the top. So here she cut a little piece. It's kind of like it's going to hold something, so you could really use this if you wanted to make this a pocket and slip in a gift card. That would work very nicely. She did elect to trim off the top part of this and kind of tuck it behind this piece, which is out of the same paper that she used on the front. Notice she also rounded the edges, just the bottom edges. She wrapped the jute around it and then tied 2 knots, 1 knot with the jute, and then she did another length and then just knotted it. And Noel and some stars are at the top. So very pretty. Just really works nicely. Now we're going to get into the topper set. And this is her first card. And it is just very lovely. This is our normal 5 by 6.5 inch card. And she did several things, and let me just show you what she used. So it's going to be this one. She's focusing on the ice skates. Heidi lives in Wisconsin, so she's used to snow. And she also elected to use this piece. This is the white one that was on top of the package. Again, it's the edge-to-edge foiling. So that's how you know the difference. She did cut a piece and make it smaller than her card and just tape that to her card front. Then this is the other piece that she used, and this is the printed cardstock, the adorable scoreable that's in the package. And she cut 3 pieces. They're 4.5 inches by 2 inches, and just trimmed them out. Now, you could certainly have done it from any of the areas on the sheet, like here and here. Those would certainly work nicely. But she elected to cut those, and then she did some foiling. So let me show you that. And I have my package here. Whoops. This is our fab foil. This is from Wow Embossing. And Heidi used the tape that she normally uses. She uses an adhesive that is on a roll, and that worked nicely for her. I have a tendency to use glue stick, so I'm going to demonstrate that for you. And I always use a craft mat because that way I don't get my foiling on different places. Now, she did use this. I'm just going to go ahead and foil this piece, okay? And you're going to put your adhesive, whatever adhesive you use, she just did it right on the edge. So I'll do the same thing. And then the fab foil comes, it's about 4 inches, I believe, by 10 feet, 20 feet, something like that. It's really a meter. So it's a meter. So it's about 3.5 feet. So it's like a little over a yard. Okay. So you've got plenty there. Then you're just going to cut off a piece. You've got your glue down, and you're just going to place the foil over and rub. And then when you lift, that foil will stay. And you're going to get an edge like that. Now, if you want it to be more, let's see, our camera's gone a little wonky, okay? So you can see it's kind of bits and pieces because that's how I did it with the glue. If you want it more solid, you just simply put the glue down and make sure that it's a solid piece. Now you can see what Heidi did. She just did it on the edge of her cardstock and on all 3 of the pieces that she cut. And then she foam taped those on top of the foiled piece. Then let me get this out of the way so I can show you the next step. Okay, so on her, remember this is the card. By the way, this one is called Winter Whispers. I think I mentioned that before. So she used the outside frame and foam taped that. Now notice it's kind of askew, and that works nicely. You get that hint of the ice skates down there to match the one. She did not use the center one, that solid silver, so you can use that elsewhere. This piece was attached with 2 layers of foam tape, so one on top of the other on the back of this. That way you get kind of a peekaboo to what's going on. And Festive Joy, that's one of the toppers, so that's used with some foam tape. And then she did make a bow using our ivory ribbon set, which just works very, very nicely. Now for the inside of her card, she's using the same piece, and this time she's turned it this way. So this is where our ice skates were. She's turned it this way, trimmed it to fit in the inside of her card. And then this is the couple, and that's foam taped. And there's these 2 labels down here. So one is glued, just kind of tucked under the couple. And then this one is foam taped with another little circle. The Fabulous Christmas Wishes, that's been foam taped on top too. And as I said, another bow on the inside, on the outside. Oh, she did do a couple of strips of the foiling just to have it coordinate with the front of the card. So that works nicely. Okay, one more card to go. And this one is what we're seeing, our sweet Santa. And she is using the foiled cardstock, the foiled adorable scorable is what Hunkydory calls this. So Santa is going to get trimmed out to fit on the card. And then she did a clever thing with this border. This is on the foiled sheet. There's Santa on the foiled sheet. She foam taped a piece down at the bottom, and then foam taped a little piece, or glued a little piece right there, and then took this square and foam taped that. So kind of, the presents that Santa is delivering and thinking about. She did use our 1/8 inch ribbon and tied a bow with the bow maker, and that became that card front on the inside. I'm glad she used that Santa. So This part is on the front. On the inside, she has turned this and trimmed it to fit inside, leaving a white border. And our arched Santa is going to get foam taped right smack dab in the middle. 'Tis the Season is going to get foamed, well, it's glued here and foam taped there. The other little arch Santa is right there. They're looking at each other. And then the Merry Christmas is foam taped on top of the Santa, another little bow, and that completes. So this really could be the front of the card, and that could be the inside, or you can do it the other way, whichever works for you. So that's a nice little pitch too. Just works really nicely and very quick to do. That's the other thing this topper set does. It allows you to make cards, beautiful cards, but quickly, and that's nice this holiday season. So we have the Frosted Dreams topper set, and we have the coordinating that I put it on top of the Frosted Dreams luxury foiled cardstock that's edge to edge. And then we also have that 120 pieces of Frosted Dreams in the square little book, all of those. Now, all of these are together. They all coordinate, but you certainly could use them separately. They are in a money saver on the right-hand side of your screen. And as always, if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, we would invite you to head on over to Paper Wishes, take advantage of the Money Saver, although the items are sold separately too. Just with the Money Saver, you save a little bit of money. I will tell you that down below, when you see the cards, that there are instructions. They're written out for you. Just click on those cards and you'll see them. You could even print them down if you would like to, and that will just make it easy too. And I would like to thank Heidi for doing such a creative job and giving us lots of ideas with these Frosted Dreams products. And I do want to thank you for watching us and for being with us. We have 26 webisodes every month. And as I said in a webisode yesterday, that beginning this Friday, we're going to start having a Flashback Friday, where we're going to show you some webisodes from years ago, but where the product is still available. So that will be fun. And I do want to thank you, and I want to thank all of you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.